Day. It's being a little bit modified with the worry about the COVID-19 virus. And so thank you for joining us. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you remain in your cars and just place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we'll have some patriotic music. Thank you. Our speech for today is written by retired Lieutenant General Richard Nash, who is the Adjutant General for the Minnesota National Guard. This year's Memorial Day will be like no other any of us alive have ever experienced. Our daily lives, family activities, employment, and social interactions have dramatically changed. We have heard over and over again, and rightfully so, we are all in this together. Never in the last century have so many people been impacted to the very core of our existence, where our health and lives are at risk. We are being asked by our local, state, and national leaders, as well as our best medical and research minds, to stay at home, minimize travel, and keep our social distance, and take personal responsibility for our well-being. With this being the facts for the foreseeable future, we are in the midst of a significant national holiday that is extremely important to all Americans and has been since the late 1960s, when it was formally recognized by Congress. Memorial Day, originally called Decoration Day, began shortly after the Civil War. It has been solemnly celebrated to recognize our war fatalities from the North and the South. Every year, this is a holiday for all of us, where we acknowledge this day at ceremonies, grave sites of our fallen veterans, parades, fireworks, the laying of wreaths, and flag presentations at our memorial sites. This year, these events will certainly be much smaller, fewer, or actually canceled. Our enthusiasm and responsibility and duty to stop and remember why this day across America should not be diminished, but measured to reduce exposure to one another. We must not let Memorial Day be just another self-isolation day without meaning and awareness. Take this special day, adjust your routine, and remember those who gave and are still giving their last full measure of devotion, and who paid the ultimate price for our freedom by honoring what they gave to all of us as we enjoy the lives we cherish today. These men and women suffered far more and overcame unimaginable obstacles much greater than what we are now experiencing. We must not forget the battle at the Chosin Reservoir, Hugh City, Iwo Jima, D-Day, the Argonne Forest, or the Second Battle of Fallujah. We have lived through tremendous challenges as a country throughout our long history. The greatest generation survived 4 years of war on 2 fronts. We weathered the 9/11 attacks and continue with the longest conflicts in our history in Iraq and Afghanistan. Never before, nor should we now, suspend honoring those who have served and died. We are currently seeing service members who are dying while performing their duties, fighting COVID-19 around the globe. These men and women are on the front lines today, along with all our civilian first responders, doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, and those taking care of our elderly family members. Memorial Day this year is a day when we should all pause, reflect, and pray for those lives lost since the beginning of our republic. We must pause for a moment of silence and think of all those who have died or been killed in conflicts. Think of their families left behind and what their lives could have been, and be very grateful that they stood up and filled the ranks alongside the extremely brave men and women of all the services to protect you and me. The willingness of American veterans to give their lives for something greater than even their own existence must be honored, and we owe that debt to their memories and acknowledge it this Memorial Day, regardless of the daily challenges we are facing. Think about how you might spend your day safely and consider calling a veteran. Thank them for serving and talk about their service. Console them if they have fellow service members lost in action. Consider sending a donation that day to one of our Minnesota veterans homes. Donate to your local American Legion or VFW post. Use one of the many technologies and social media outlets to connect with a distant relative who served in one of the branches of service. We can do simple things like flying the flag or visit to a cemetery near you to search for a veteran of the past. Finally, taking time during the day, stop long enough and reflect on how, with everything considered, how better off you and your family are, particularly due to those who have fought and died on behalf of our nation. To those we honor on this day, gave their very existence for the people and nation that they loved. The least we all can do, regardless of what is going on around us, is to stop, reflect, say a simple prayer and a thank you. They have earned our undying gratitude. We will overcome our current crisis because we as a nation can rally, pull together our collective talents, and focus on defeating this current dilemma. America is strong because of its people. That's just what we do in dark and trying times. Thank you. We'll continue with the placing of the wreaths. For the veterans of the Revolutionary War. World War II. The Korean War. The Vietnam conflict. The wars in Panama and Grenada. The Gulf War. The Bosnia and Kosovo War. Iraqi freedom. Afghanistan War. And the wreath for the unknown soldier.
One, two, hut. Hey, fire. Hey, fire. Hey, fire.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Let us never forget for those who have served and died for our nation. Thank you.